Hey, welcome back to Views on Brews. I'm Brendan, and this is Kloster Scheyern's Kloster Weissbier. Sounds great. Can't wait to get into it. Let's get this beer straight open, and I want to get pouring the beer straight away because I want to take a good look at this beer and see. Whoa, she's lively. See just how much of a head we're going to have on the beer. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a very lively head on the top. Although I can see the bubbles are popping away there. Let's see if we can get a decent head going on there. We are a little bit, we are definitely a little bit yeasty in the bottom there. Okay, so cool. Nice cloudy beer we've got here. Small head, but I have to let you know that this beer, purely by chance, and I didn't know this going into doing this video, it's out of date 4 days ago now. So I missed that, and that's probably where the head has gone on this beer. It's fizzled away. But it still looks beautiful, and there's this beautiful bright aroma coming off of the beer anyway. So maybe we'll just have to give the head the benefit of the doubt on this beer. Anyway, just a quick video on this one. So Kloster Scheyern, it's just north of Munich, and this brewery, or part of this brewery at least, is established in 1119. So it's incredible to think just how old. That's like 900 odd years ago that this brewery was established. And the Kloster itself was a monastery that was converted by the Counts of Scheyern and given to the monks, or the Benedictine monks took up residence at some point in there and started brewing beer and brewing it better, and all for the good. And it has lasted ever since. And like a lot of these German breweries, this is another one that's built on huge amounts of history, and 1119 is incredibly old. I'm not really sure how old of a beer brewery I've ever had, but maybe this is the oldest. I don't know. I'm a bit upset that the head on this beer is gone, but there's perfectly decent carbonation going off on it. So I think that because I've let the beer get too old before drinking it, although I did buy it and it was fairly recent that I bought it. Just getting a bit of that yeast in there actually. Fairly recently that I bought this beer, so I'm a little bit upset, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt anyway for the head. We won't worry too much about that. The beer of course is naturally cloudy. The ABV of this beer is 5.2%, and it is a classic white beer, Weissbier, just white beer. It's like a Belgian wit, or plenty of other different types of white beer that you can find. It's got masses and masses of wheat in it, but also some barley and also some hops. I'm going to tuck into it. Just a shame there's no head on it. Anyway, Prost, cheers, Sloncha, all that good stuff. Oh, well, it doesn't have a head on the top of this beer, but the flavour is just fantastic. Bright orange flavours, orange aromas coming off it. Banana, clove on this beer. It's actually very similar to Hefeweizen, so I'm wondering what kind of yeast was used to ferment this beer. Maybe it's a Hefeweizen style beer, even though it's a white beer. So easy drinking. A lot of these German beers are all similar in the fact that if they're not brewed for drinking during Lent, therefore they're not meant to be sustenance based beers. They're just drinking for easy medium bodied, huge drinkability. Mouthfeel is just very, very simple. The beer goes down, there's a sweet brightness, a bready, wheaty backbone to the beer, but it's all sort of propped up by the incredible esters that you get from the yeasts in the beer. So this one does have a little bit of, it's got an orange note to it, but it's also got a bit of banana and a little bit of spiciness from the clove, but a really mellow, kept in check spiciness. Well, that's that beer. I've got another one to move on to, but I just thought I'd get that one into me because it's a bit unfair to review a beer best after its best before. It feels a bit sad that there's no head on this beer, but what a great brewing tradition and brewing history that this beer has. Absolutely fantastic, and it still tastes great. I'm guessing that beer must be a year old if the date is out of date now. They probably give it a 12-month best before, and this still tastes great. So cheers, Sláinte, and Prost, and on to the next one. This is another one out of my German beer unboxing, but had to get it in the book, and so that was it. Okay, on to the next one. Cheers.